Hey everyone, so today I'm going to show you how I made my first Bible word search. It is a process, but I promise you it is so worth it, and it is a fun way to make your own activity book, coloring book. It's very fun. So the first thing I would do is to push create at the top tab over here. And if you don't have a pro account, you'll probably need to get one to do this, because I'm pretty sure the app that I'm going to be using through Canva requires a pro account. Alright, so after that, you're going to go to custom size right here. Click that. Then you're going to change the units to inches. And in the width section, you're going to put 8.5. And in the height section, you're going to put 11. Then you're going to push create new design. So this page will be your first page, which will be the first page in the inside of your book. We're not focused on the cover right now, we're in the inside. So this page will be where you write what type of coloring book it is, what type of word search. I shouldn't even say coloring book, we're doing word searches. What type of word search. So I'm just going to use a template that I had from before, and let's just say you had that. All you had to do in order to create this was to go to text. You're going to push add a header and then write in your title. And then when you do that, you can change the font from this list to any font you like. You can add whatever size you want, add bold if you want, even underline it. When you push these three dots, it goes to the underline option. Alright, then to get the smaller version of this, you go to add a subheading. You click that, and then you can type in "this book belongs to" and add the two dots. Alright. The next thing we're going to do is go to elements, and in your shapes should be a line. If you don't see a line in your shapes section, you can type line in this search box up here, and when you push enter, you're going to see different types of lines in the shape section. Alright, and then you have the graphics section. You can click any of these and use it as your line, but I want you to know when one of these has a crown, it means you need the pro account in order to use it. If you do not use the pro account and you try to use this in your work, the problem is when you try to print it, it will have the lines on it showing that it's not yours, like you don't have the right to use it. So if you were trying to put this on Amazon or something like that, it would have the line showing that you don't actually have the right to use that in your work. Alright, now we're going to add a copyright page, which if you have copyright, you just add that to your second page, whatever that is, all rights reserved. I just used that for mine. And now we're going to start making our puzzle. So in order to make your puzzle, you're going to have to follow down the list. Go to design, elements, text, go down until you see apps. In this app section, you're going to type in activities. Okay, and over here you're going to see activities maker. You're going to click that, and I already have it, so I didn't have to download it, but you will probably have to download it if you've never had it already as a part of your Etsy, unless they changed it. Not Etsy, Canva, unless they changed it. Alright, now your job is to decide what do you want this. You should have already decided what you want the word search to be, but the words you want for each puzzle. That's what you need to decide now. What I did was I used ChatGPT by specifying what was the subject of each puzzle I wanted, and then asking for a certain amount of words per puzzle, and that helped me a lot. So I had that in a Word document with every single thing listed with how many puzzles I wanted those words for. Alright, and so for example, they also have a list where you can use their words. For example, if you click hobbies, they already give you a good amount of words for hobbies, colors, and you can even use this as inspiration for your word search book if you want to make it all about food, and then have different words that you ask ChatGPT for each of these food options. That will be a good idea as well. But once you have those words, it's important, if you just saw, to have them one word at a time, and make sure there's no space behind the words, because if you have a space behind the word, it will add that to the puzzle and as a blank space. You don't want that. So we're just going to use what they have, which is the colors, as our example. Now we're going to go down, push this button to go down, word search settings. We're going to click off board grid lines, because that just makes each it makes boxes for each letter, which we don't want. For the answer key, I just like to use gray so that you don't have to use color ink just to highlight the words for the answer key. And we're going to put the max number of words per puzzle to 15. And the row, we can change that to, the row in the columns are determined by how long your words are. So if you have words in your list of words that are like 16 letters, you need to make sure you change this. So for this example, I'm just going to put 16, because if you don't, it won't add that word to your puzzle and you'll be missing it and maybe not even notice it. All right, so now that we have all of that, we have all the words, one word each line, we have this clicked off, we have this grade, we have 15 words per puzzle, 16 rows and 16 columns. You keep all of these clicked and then you push generate. Now, when it generates, you're going to get the answer key. You're going to get all the words that were in that word box, and you're going to get the actual puzzle. So we're going to separate this, and we're going to just add a page at the bottom. It had an add a page option, and you're going to take the answer key and drag it down to here. All right. We're going to put that on that page for right now. Then we're going to enlarge our word search simply by pulling on this. Once it turns dark purple, you pull on it. And now we can add a line as the border. We go here to border style, we click this, and then we can add a line around it. All right, now we have all our words still here. In case you didn't have it in a word box in the beginning where you can just like write it down later, you can keep this here for now. And now you can add a title. You can add a title, or you can do this before, but we're just doing it now. You can add a title for this word search, and let's say this one is colors, because this is all based off colors anyway. We add this, and we try to meet it at the middle where the line is. You can change the font if you want, the size, and change if it's bold or not. And you can also, if you click the three dots here, add an underline option. All right, now to write the words out, I would go to add a little bit of body text. I use that, and then I would manually add the words here, or you can highlight half of these words. Let's do green, orange to green, and you right click, copy, and then you right click again and paste that. Okay, but you will have to make it way smaller for it to fit. That will be the only thing where you have to shrink it down. All right, which seems kind of small. I'm going to show you it closer up in a second. And then you can add another box and then add the white to pink. I'm doing it this way just so it's a little easier. And you copy that, and you add it into this text box and shrink it down again. And it's good to make sure that you make them the same size. You can just click on them and make sure they're the same size. So I made each one 9 font. And the beautiful thing about Canva is it really shows you like how to make things in sync. So I'm going to delete that now. And now I'm going to align this to the left and align this to the left, push an alignment up here. It's automatically going to go to the left first. If you push it again, it goes like that, to the right, and to the middle. So we're going to do to the left. Now I'm going to zoom in so you can see how it looks. So zoomed in, it will look like this. It will have colors, and then these will be the colors. Now, another way you can do this is to add more text boxes so they can be a little bit bigger, with the words being a little bit bigger. Or you can make this smaller and make the words bigger. And you just make this a little bit smaller and align it to the middle. You could do it however you want. You really could be as creative as you want with your own word search. This is just a template of how you start. All right, so whenever you want to zoom in to see your work, you just push this button at the bottom. This little circle at the bottom. You go back and forth and you can see it. All right, so for our answer key, I always like to check to make sure I count the number of words here to make sure they're all there. And then I add a border around it. And I like to add the name of the puzzle. So I'm going to push duplicate. After I click the title, I'm going to click duplicate. And I'm going to put it right over. Sorry, that's my fridge. I'm going to put it right over the answer key. And I'm going to group them. I drag from the corner to cover the name, the title, and the answer key. And I push group so that they're together. So when I want to organize this later for the answer key part, this is already together. And you continue to do the same thing over and over and over again until you're done. And then you just rearrange it and put all the answer keywords together. So I'm going to show you an example of what one of my answer keys looks like. I usually like to put 4 on each page. Because it just saves space. And this was the first one I ever did. I didn't use the gray because I used a different program originally. But for the answer key, I have 4 on each page. So I just kept the title and the word search together and grouped it. And then put them all together. And then checked again later to make sure they were in the right order per puzzle. Alright, and that is how you can create your own word search using Canva. Later I'll show how you can make your cover, but it is really super duper simple. Anyone can do it. And so when you're done, by the way, if you want to download it, so you have the file, if you wanted to print it through a print company, you would just go click the share button, push download, then you would click here and go to PDF print, my bad. Then push flatten, make sure all the pages are selected, then you go to CMYK, which is for the printing. So it's good printing, but in order to use this, you need to have Canva Pro. And then you will click download and it will go to your download. All right, then you can save it to your computer. All right, hope this helps. Bye.